Hey, welcome to block 3 of the Quilt Block Challenge. Here you can see the fabrics I've chosen. These were designed by Renee Naneman for Andover Fabrics, and the collection is called Cottage Cloth. So I have 4 fabrics. You only need 3 fabrics per block, but I am creating an alternative block for this project, so I've chosen 2 colors for the background. And I do like to cut my templates out with a rotary cutter because I just think it's more accurate and a little faster, but I do use a rotary cutter that's marked paper so that I'm not interchanging them with the one that cuts fabric. Here's where you can find Renee's fabric, and I'm guessing I will need 4-inch wide by 19-inch strips. It's just a guess. This is what your template will look like. There are 3 sections. Each section is numbered for the order of sewing, and they are color-coded. This is what my template looked like. It wasn't as nicely color-coded, but I color-coded it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut the template out. And what I'm doing here is measuring to give myself an idea of how much fabric I should cut. I have half-yard cuts, and I decided to cut 4-inch wide strips. And here are a few tools that I use. This is fabric glue, rotary cutter, and this is called an add-a-quarter ruler. I know I've shown it before, but I never actually looked at the name of it, and it has a nice lip on it so you can butt it up against the paper template. So the first thing you do is you fold all of the lines on all of the templates, and you fold them in both directions. And I'm going to speed this up till we get through the folding process. Okay, we are going to start with template A, so I'm going to set template B aside. And then we're going to look for A1, which is the first fabric that we need. I don't have it colored in, but it's either the gold or the cream, depending on which block you're making. It's the background. So you place the first one right sides up on the template, and I like to glue these down. You can pin, but I find that when I use pins, they kind of rock the ruler, so I prefer the glue. So when you place it, you want to make sure that you have at least 1/4 inch hanging over, like you can see here, and then you use that handy dandy ruler and you trim it. And then you look for the fabric you're going to use for A2. You're going to place that right sides together with your first fabric. And then you turn it over and make sure your edges are still aligned. And then you're going to sew right next to that paper fold. You're not going to sew on the paper. If you do, your template will deteriorate and you won't be able to use it over and over and over like I like to. I know there is a method where you sew through the paper and then you have to print a new template for every block. And you also have to tear out the paper. So I really like this method because there's no paper tearing and you're saving paper. Once you get the hang of it, it's really, really easy. So here I'm folding it back using the ruler, trimming the fabric. and trimming the fabric, and maybe I need a new blade. Now on the edge of the template like this, you trim right to the edge of the paper. You don't add the 1/4 inch, because the 1/4 inch is added in the, yes, I definitely need a new blade. The 1/4 inch is added in the template when you're on the edge of the template. So you'll see me peeking, like right now, I'm making sure before I cut it, like, do I add the 1/4 inch or don't I? So I'm going to add a little glue here so that it doesn't get wonky on me. So far I've just been finger pressing. As the black grows, I do actually press it with the iron and glue it. So now we're adding our 3rd fabric. I'm just folding it over just to make sure that it's moved to the left far enough that I'm not selling myself short there. Okay, same thing. We sew next to the folded template, and I am going to speed up this part. Hopefully you have the hang of it now, and we'll move along a little quicker. I'm chuckling because I want to make sure I have this right. I maybe cut it a little too short, and now I'm worried. So I'm pinning it because I want to flip it over and make sure it covers the template. And it does, so it's fine. So I'm going to speed it back up again. This is the last piece for this unit. You see there's a little V there in the seam allowance right there. And that's because when I was sewing the other pieces on, I didn't allow quite enough. But in this case, I figured I could just take it up in the seam and it would be fine. But if it was any bigger, I would repiece that. So you'll have to decide when those things happen to you how close it is to the seam. Is it going to pull out? Do you want it to be perfect? So, and here again, I'm trimming to the edge of the paper because the seam allowance is built into the template. And voila! The Unit A is complete. So now we repeat that process with Unit B, and I am going to speed that up for you. I thought I'd show you this boo-boo. I like to show my boo-boos because they're probably going to happen to you too, and I think they happen to everyone. So, do you see it? Oops. I I got the tip sewn into the seam. So I flipped it over and I wasn't paying attention, and so now I have to pick it out. So I'll just pick that little section out and re-sew it, and everything will be okay. I thought I'd show you this too, because I had a moment of, uh-oh, oh no, I didn't cover the whole template. But then I realized, let's see, I'm trying to make it fit. I went to glue it and I realized, oh, it's only that other section. So no problem. So I'm going to trim that part right off right now. Yep. Okay, here is the last trim on Unit B. And now I just have to cut the fabric for this last triangle, and I thought I could use that scrap, but no, it was too small, so I'm going to use this scrap. And I'm still going to glue it down to the template. That's probably not necessary. I probably could have just turned it over and trimmed it to the template, but you know, you get in the habit of things and then sometimes you do them whether they're needed or not. These little corners are kind of important to trim, because when you go to put the blocks together, or the units together to make the block, they will help you line things up. So now I'm just peeling the fabrics off of the paper templates, and you just want to do this gentle so you don't stretch the fabric. The glue is not super strong, so it doesn't pull on the fabric too hard, but you still want to be a wee bit gentle and slow. Maybe slow is good. Okay, so here is where we're going to line this up, and I'm going to point out where that point is, where I trimmed that piece. There's that little gentle point there. That's where the 1/4 inch seam should start. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm not big on pinning, and I probably should be. I'm having a little thread issue here. So there aren't any seams to match, but I do want it to, you know, line up at the end. So if I had pinned, it would probably be faster in this case, but and there we go. Unit A and B are sewn together, and I go to press it, and I realize that even though there aren't any seams matching from the two sides, there is a lot of bulk right there. And so because of that, I've decided I'm going to press that seam open. So I do a little finger press first, just because it makes it easier when you get it to the iron. At least I think so. And then I'm giving it a nice press. There you can see the back. Okay, one piece left. And again, those little points show us where to line it up and where to start stitching. Ta-da! Oh, no, no, no thread in the needle again. Okay, that's a little better. And here it is all pressed. Not too bad. So I always like to mock these things up. This would be a wall hanging, and then I turned them, and I really like this one because it's not so blatantly a heart. It's something that you're looking at and it's interesting, and then you go, "Oh, it's a heart." And I think it gives it a much more modern take. Yeah, I really like that. If I was going to do this wall hanging for myself, I would probably do it in different colors because I'm not a pink girl. These are fabrics that I designed, and they are available from Spoonflower. And if you decide to make this and you download the PDF, you will see the QR codes for those fabrics. So if you want to order them, you certainly can. The link for the PDF will be in the notes below, and I will also include Renee's Needle Love link. I hope you give it a go. Let me know, and thanks for watching.